your friendly neighborhood quarter guy here, and for those of you who are wondering about my continuation of my boss rage against Paracelsia, well, most fighting game fans are probably going to be watching EVO, so I've decided to delay that until another time. Probably sometime next week, most likely, because I want to get this done as soon as possible. It's about getting this done. So instead, tomorrow, which is Saturday, July 18th, I'll be streaming Balloon Fight in honor of the passing of Satoru Iwata. That stream will take place at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And I'll see if I can get some friends in on it as well. Speaking of Satoru Iwata, his passing has left a big question. Where does Nintendo go from here? Who will take Iwata's place as CEO of Nintendo? A lot of people have been suggesting that Shigeru Miyamoto, widely credited as the creator of Mario, step up to the plate and take his place. However, I recently saw a Tumblr post from a Nintendo-related blog called Challenger Approaching that made a case for the head of the Integrated Research Division, Genya Takeda. Some of the points he cited was that he's a manager and a developer. Some of the innovations he created was the dual-screen Punch-Out arcade game, which led the way for the dual-screen Game & Watch games, and later the Nintendo DS. The battery backup that was used in the Legend of Zelda cartridges that were marketed in America. And he was involved in the development of the Wii, and we all know how successful that was. Another point he made was that many of the games he made were also made with Western audiences in mind, because gaming is a global business. Some of those include Punch-Out and Star Tropics, which were successful in America to a good extent. And probably the most important point that he made was that the blogger made was that Takeda is willing to take risks. He took a risk with the Wii, and it worked out well for Nintendo. So, given the point this man made, I could honestly see Takeda taking up the reins of Nintendo. Though, it would be hard getting used to seeing him do Nintendo Directs. As for what I'm up to right now, I've fallen a little bit behind on my scripting, but I'm almost done with the script for top 10 games I've played on Steam. I've just got a couple more segments to script, and I'll be ready to start editing. Which, given my speed of editing, shouldn't take too long. Hopefully I'll still be able to have it near the end of the month. Or by the end of the month, I should say. And after that, like I've said, for August, I'll probably be doing the top 10 things I hate in video games, because there's always those things that piss you off. Now for September, I don't think I'll be doing a major video for September, mainly because I need to prepare for Castlevania month in October. I've got 4 solo countdowns now. Okay, here's my question of the week. Can you think of anyone who should replace Satoru Iwata as the head of Nintendo? As always, put your answers in the comments below. I'll put my favorite answers in next week's episode. Here are last week's winners. And with that, time for the Fourth Wall Mailbag. Remember, if you want to send me a question, go to my channel. If you're on PC or Mac, go to the About tab, click Send Message, and send me your questions there. I'll pick my favorites and answer them on next week's episode. First question this week comes from Akumaryu, who asks, if you were to choose an RPG class, what class would it be? Now, the class I'd be is not your typical class. It's been known in multiple sources as Spellblade or Spellfencer. Basically, it's the kind of class that uses swords in combat, but enchants them with elements and magical power. I would consider myself this kind of class, basically because of how I play Monster Hunter. I like to take advantage of monsters' elemental weaknesses when I fight them. That gives me an edge in battle. I have lots of different insect glaives and lots of different charge blades in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I try to tailor as many of them as possible to various elemental weaknesses so I'll have the right weapon for the right situation. So that kind of class seems to be the kind of style that appeals to me the most. Interesting, isn't it? Next question comes from Mew Fangirl, who asks, have you ever considered playing Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn? I have heard so much about that. I mean, one of my patrons talks about it a lot. He plays it a lot. In fact, one of my QG Reacts videos was about a run that he saw against one of the super bosses in the game, Primal Bahamut. Oh, wait, sorry, Bahamut Prime. It's like, he talks about it a lot. He recommends it highly. He says it's a WoW killer, in fact. And from what I've seen of it, I wouldn't be surprised. Though, it'll probably have... I might try it out sometime, though I'll probably have to wait until I have time, well, more time to dedicate to it. Though it does appeal to me. Next question comes from Super Zeiss 250, who asks, what do you think of the newly announced BlazBlue Central Fiction? Well, it does look pretty awesome, though I have to question, why would ArcSys announce it just so soon after the American release of Chrono Phantasma Extend? I mean, yeah, just release the latest version, except, nope, now it's not the newest version anymore. I also am interested in the 2 new characters that are going to be playable. Naoto, in case you haven't played Chrono Phantasma, is the assistant to Kagura Mutsuki, and Naoto Kurogane is a character from the light novel series, BlazBlue Blood Edge Experience. And it's pretty much also 99% confirmed that the Sorceress 9 is going to be playable in there. But one thing I don't get, and please don't answer for me, I want to find out for myself, but how is Terumi still alive after what happened in Chrono Phantasma? Oh, sorry, spoilers, sorry. But, yeah. If you've seen Chrono Phantasma story mode, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you may be confused as I am. Next question comes from Dave Simon, aka Floatsalover, who asks, what is your least favorite Final Fantasy game? That would be Final Fantasy III, the DS remake. It was on my top 10 most disappointing games for a reason. Cliché story, bland protagonists, bland villain, the nerfing of characters when they change classes, the lack of save points in dungeons. Yeah, that pretty much summarizes it. Final question comes from Rachel Flynn, who asks, what is the strangest game you've ever played? Katamari Damacy. Enough said.